Welcome to an all-new episode of St. Louis Presents.
And good to see you again, Debbie.
Good to see you, Steve Potter. Thanks for coming back.
Well, I was gone. I was gone for about a month. I want to thank Vern for filling in. But, you know, I've been gone so long, and now that I'm back, I'm looking around and like...
Where are we?
Something's really different around here.
Yes.
What is it?
Well, we're on a temporary set because we're having a new set built. So we'd like to thank the folks at Fox 2 for... well, they got a new set, so we're in the process of using their old set to build something new here at STL TV.
So this is temporary. So next time it's going to change again?
I think so.
Oh, wow.
Stay tuned, as they say. And stay tuned for spring weather, because I have had at least 5 or 6 people say to me in the last 24 hours, I'm so sick of the cold, so I'm just thinking spring.
I'm going out on a limb. I think winter, and I know I'll live to regret this, but I think winter is officially over. Well, you know they say, march in like a lion, out like a lamb. That last week of February and the beginning, first few days of March were kind of brutal. So I'm thinking it's going to be clear sailing.
I hope so. So if you are thinking spring, we are going to have a guest on who's going to tell us more about how you can get a hold of some great seeds and flowers and plants and really help beautify this spring.
Blitz 2015, Brightside St. Louis, Mary Lou Green. We talked to her last year about this time, right? And they help make St. Louis a beautiful place, and if you're watching, you get involved, and she'll tell you how.
Absolutely. And there's a great event coming up, a gala that will not only be fun, but help to raise money to fight ovarian cancer and bring more awareness, which is definitely an important thing.
And that's a topic really close to my heart, because my mom died of ovarian cancer, so I'm really in tune about it. And it's a really important message, so I'm really glad you're going to talk to her.
Yeah, excellent. So stay tuned, because lots of great information coming up on this episode of St. Louis Presents. St. Louis Ovarian Cancer Awareness, SLOCA, is committed to promoting awareness and funding research for ovarian cancer. And one of the ways they do this is with their annual Live It Out Loud Gala. And here to tell us more about that event and ovarian cancer is Lisa Sienkiewicz, the board president. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me here. We're going to have this wonderful gala on March 28th from 5:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the Edward Jones headquarters in Des Peres. This gala has been going on for years. It's our major fundraiser of the year. This is the time where we celebrate life. Every year we celebrate being together, but we also recognize the people who have helped us, recognize the people who are still with us fighting strong, and we earn money for our education programs. That's the big thing. Ovarian cancer is a very hard disease to detect, and women need to know their bodies, and they need to know the symptoms of ovarian cancer.
So we heard from Steve Potter before the break that it was something that his mother had to deal with. I know that the MC of the gala event is a survivor, is that right?
Right, right. And we're also going to have a keynote speaker who's a survivor. Her name is Sandy Sullivan, and we are going to celebrate the Salsich family and their gifts that they've given to SLOCA and the wonderful things they've done for us. They unfortunately have lost family members to ovarian cancer, and they have a very crucial message too when they come to speak.
And I think one of the things people just need to think about, first of all, they just need to think about some of these signs, and we'll get to those. But, you know, with some other cancers, like women go to the gynecologist and they'll have a pap smear and they think that that might detect it when that's actually cervical cancer.
Right.
Or breast cancer, you can do, you know, this is a cancer where it's not very obvious.
Right. You have to know your body, and you have to know the main symptoms, which is the bloating, abdominal and pelvic pain, difficulty eating or feeling full quickly, and urinary urgency or frequency. And there are some other symptoms too. You can look at that list of symptoms on our website, which is SLOCA, SLOCA.org. And while you're on there, click on the events page and go ahead and sign up for the gala. Come and be one of our guests, because we'd love to have everybody who wants to participate in our organization and come and celebrate with us. Because, you know, once you have ovarian cancer, you look forward to each year. You look forward to moving forward. And in some cases, we have people who've survived 20 years.
That's fantastic.
So it is a disease. If you know the symptoms, if it can be caught early and treated effectively by a gynecologic oncologist, you have good chances.
And it's probably very important for women to educate themselves and to be their own best, you know, the best spokesperson for themselves, because any of these symptoms, you know, can easily be dismissed by a doctor who's like, oh, you're fine. And then you go home and you feel like you're just being a complainer.
Or you're just getting a little bit older. You know? I know I had all of these symptoms to some degree, but I also had some IBS type symptoms, gastrointestinal symptoms. And they were just unusual for me. I developed a lactose intolerance at age 45. That doesn't make any sense. So women need to know their bodies. They need to know these symptoms. And they need to be aware that if this is something unusual for you, if it lasts more than 2 weeks in a month, or if these things recur 12 times in a month, then you need to talk to your doctor.
Now, before we have to let you go, let's talk about this bag, because it's got the beautiful arch on one side, and I see schnooks, and it's one of these great bags that you should be taking to the store. So is this a partnership with Schnooks?
Yeah, if you're not available on March 28th to join us for the gala, then you can support us by going to Schnooks and purchasing one of these bags. They're only $1. And we're encouraging people not to just buy one for yourself, but go ahead and buy one for some friends, you know, buy several, and spread them around. It has this infographic that teaches you about the signs and symptoms. So, you know, help us, help Schnooks, help the Ovarian Cancer Awareness Organization here in St. Louis.
Definitely. We're looking at a picture there of Julie Tristan of KSDK, who is your MC for the gala, the St. Louis Ovarian Cancer Awareness. So we definitely encourage people to attend the gala, to buy one of these bags at Schnooks, and at the very least, go online and learn a little bit more about the event, about SLOCA, and about being prepared and aware of the symptoms.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much for being here to share this important message. We wish you the very best and have a wonderful gala. And thanks for keeping St. Louis informed about ovarian cancer and how to...
And people can check our website at SLOCA.org.
Well, we're going to throw back to Steve Potter and find out what news headlines he has for us. Steve?
Thanks, Debbie. Approximately 134 taxpayers recently took advantage of free income tax preparation and filing thanks to an ongoing collaboration between the Comptroller's Office, the National Association of Black Accountants, and PNC Bank. If you're in need of tax assistance, the St. Louis Tax Assistance Program is also here to help. Visit them at stloustap.org for a list of site locations and contact information. March is National Poison Prevention Month. Poison centers receive millions of poison calls each year. Here are some steps that you can take to prevent accidental poisonings. Read and follow directions and warnings on medicine labels. Get rid of old and unneeded medicine. Keep potential poisons in their original containers. And teach children about what things are dangerous, even if they're in colorful packaging. Keep the poison help number handy, and for more information, visit poisonprevention.org. And the St. Louis Regional Chamber recently recognized organizations for making St. Louis a better place to live, work, and invest with the annual Arcus Awards, which had been originally scheduled for this past November. Over 800 people attended the awards dinner, where 10 local companies and organizations were honored. To find out more about the awards ceremony and the winners, visit stlregionalchamber.com. And speaking of awards, I can think of one local organization that deserves an award as far as what they do is cleaning up our community. You know, when I clean up my room, I think I deserve an award.
You probably do.
I know. So anyway, Mary Lou Green is here. Operation Blitz is in operation, I guess is the way to put it.
Operation Brightside, absolutely. Every year, Brightside St. Louis and thousands of neighbors are joining forces to clean up the streets, not Steve's room, but vacant lots in the city. And Blitz 2015 is underway. So Mary Lou Green, the woman with the most appropriate name to green up our city. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Now, what is the Blitz?
Blitz is what we call our citywide cleanup. And for years we would designate certain days, and we would tell you exactly when it was you were supposed to clean up your alley. And now we've gone back to the opportunity where on your particular block you can decide when you want to do your cleanup. And if you want to do a spring and summer and fall cleanup, we'll help you with that as well. And we can provide tools and trash bags. So any group that wants to organize a cleanup to make their neighborhood better, we're happy to provide the tools that they need, trash bags. They just need to tell us about it so we can help them.
So it's not just spring cleaning anymore. You want us to clean all year round?
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
Now, it seems that if you've been doing this for so long that you have lots of groups who probably made it an annual tradition and hopefully are bringing more groups along.
Yes, that's exactly what we're doing. We work with block captains who have been involved with their blocks for many years. We're getting new people involved who, look around and go, wow, this place is a mess. It would really be good if we got together and did something about it. And it really is about neighbors working together to make their own neighborhood better.
And I think there are other benefits besides just having a clean neighborhood. You're encouraging people to get to know one another, to form relationships they might not otherwise have. I can see other benefits to this.
Oh, you're absolutely right. I tell people, and a lot of times they don't really understand what I mean, but when you have a cleaner neighborhood, you have neighbors working together, you have a safer neighborhood. And that's really what it is all about, is people getting to know each other, working together. When you see people and you're working with them in the alley or whatever, you get to then pay attention more of, who's going in and out of their house, right, and things like that. You just know a lot more, and it really strengthens the bonds in the community.
Sure, it gives you that sense of ownership and pride. Let's talk about the seedlings, though, too, because it's not just cleaning up and making it clean, which is very important, but, adding that little extra pizzazz that flowers can certainly bring.
Exactly. We are right now, we have volunteers that are sowing seeds at the greenhouse in Forest Park, so that in May we will have seedlings to give to volunteers that have, after you've cleaned up, now you want to beautify your the block where you live. You can put the flowers on the tree lawn or any public property within the city of St. Louis. And thanks to these volunteers that are working now, we will have 160,000 flowers to give away in May.
Wow.
So anybody who has a registered Blitz project is eligible to request flowers for planting on public property.
And it's not just the seeds, it's the bulbs you guys plant too. And the one, the signature, I guess, thing that I always identify with Operation Brightside are the daffodils. And do they come up in April? I'm not sure. But once you see all the daffodils...
Some of them are popping out of the ground already.
Are they?
Yeah.
They've been a little bit slow this year because it's been so cold, but it's actually, the cold weather is good for the bulbs. So we should see some yellow flowers, yellow daffodils in the next several weeks.
Yeah, you told me last year, I can't remember, I asked you like how many bulbs you guys had planted, and the number was unbelievable.
Total, since we started planting daffodils, we've planted over 14 million.
Wow, 14 million?
Yes.
Aren't you glad you don't have to water those?
Some of them were eaten by squirrels, though, we have to be honest. Well, for people who want to know more about how to get involved with the Blitz and start the neighborhood cleanup and then hopefully get some flowers, best place to go or to call?
They can call Operation Brightside or Brightside St. Louis at 314-772-4646, or go onto our website at brightsidestl.org.
And one thing that I think is really important, you referred to it earlier, but we might want to hit on it again, is that you provide all the tools people need to do all the cleanup work, or, the rakes, the shovels, all that. They can check them in and they just have to return them, but that's important.
Oh, absolutely. And we try and make it as easy as possible. You organize your neighbors, we'll let you borrow brooms, rakes, shovels, and then give you some trash bags. And
I'm ready to go.
Yeah, and
Excellent.
Steve is going to do my neighborhood, so
yeah.
I'm really glad. Thank you so much. We're so glad to have you back again, and let's get cleaning and planting, folks. We hope that you enjoyed this edition of St. Louis Presents.
And we want to thank our guests today, and we want to thank you at home for watching.
We'll see you next time right here on STL TV.
Bye.